Good morning and welcome to Morgellons discussion and microscopy videos. I'm your host Jeremy Murphy, and today we got a few things to talk about. But first, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that thing, smash into that like, and let's get ready to go. So, the first question is, what's the difference between someone who has Morgellons and who does not have Morgellons, but mistakenly believes that they do? And how should those people be addressed? In either case, both patients should be treated with respect. It's hard on the doctors to get someone to understand when they mistakenly believe they have Morgellons that they do not have Morgellons. And the biggest group of people who mistakenly believe they have Morgellons are delusions of parasites patients. Why would someone have delusions of parasites? Well, they may have found themselves inside an online group where the group leaders were telling people that Morgellons is a parasitic infestation from the sky, a government conspiracy to seed alien DNA into our human beings. And that kind of bullshit is what we have this channel for, because we stand up against that and against those leaders who are spreading misinformation about our very simple skin condition to garner attention and potentially even financial gain. Okay, so a lot of people mistakenly believe they have Morgellons because they've gone inside a Facebook group and they were desperate for help, because they have some kind of problem that the doctors weren't addressing. And this group leader has convinced them that not only do they have Morgellons, but everybody on the planet has Morgellons because Morgellons is falling from the sky. And that's how someone can easily believe that they have Morgellons. Let's say you don't have to have sores to have Morgellons, but you're definitely not going to have perfect skin. I've met a few people who haven't had the classic lesions, but they've always had some kind of sore on their body. It wasn't like a lesion, but it was like some kind of strangeness going on with their skin. And then on microscopic examination, they had the multicolored microscopic filaments embedded in their skin tissue, and it looked all sorts of weird. But there are people who don't have this problem with the microscopic filaments coming out of their skin, but they are believing that they have Morgellons because they got into this group. And the worst part is that some of these groups will get people to perform these outrageous rituals, like cleaning their house 6-7 times a day just to get rid of this parasite that doesn't even exist. Morgellons isn't even associated with parasites, it's associated with bacteria. They may have them believe that Morgellons is contagious, and this will prevent them from having any contact with any of their friends and family, further isolating them and brainwashing them into potentially giving up all their money. So that's why I am so adamant about calling people out that don't have Morgellons or who are spreading misinformation about the skin condition associated with a infectious process. Because there is a clear difference between infection and contagion, and knowing is half the battle. All right, so we got this new study that just came out, and it's not the Morgellons study. Hang tight, I'm getting there. How are y'all doing? It's Monday. AA amyloid in human food chain is a possible biohazard. All right, now what's an AA amyloid? So AA amyloidosis is a loidosis. AA amyloidosis is a condition which is characterized by fibers inside the organs. Okay? Now this is different. This is different than Morgellons, and I've asked some prominent researchers about this difference, but it is possible that because this AA amyloid, right? This is produced after the body experiences a prolonged period of inflammation, right? AA amyloid. The third most common reason somebody would start to develop AA amyloidosis is syphilis. If they have syphilis, then their body's experiencing prolonged periods of inflammation. And as we know, because of the news, syphilis is back and it's global. And antibiotic resistance. The pandemic strain cluster has finally shown itself in the 21st century, in the second decade. So anyways, the food chain. What they're saying is that AA amyloidosis can be seeded into individuals, okay, and start to affect beta amyloid plaques or amyloid beta plaques that are associated with the Alzheimer's disease. So what this is saying is that in a test tube, they were able to seed the beta amyloid plaques from these AA amyloids in livestock food from Italy and other places in Europe. So potentially what that means is that you could go eat a cheeseburger and get Alzheimer's disease. But what that also means is that hygromycin B that the animals, the livestock, cattle are supposed to be on to prevent these kinds of spirochetal infections from resulting in the AA amyloids isn't working. And so that calls into question, is this new hygromycin A antibiotic therapy going to be effective for Lyme disease patients? It says it's more effective for syphilis patients, but AA amyloid, the third most common cause of that is syphilis, and cattle get a lot of treponemal infections, which is going to make me diverge into another study that just came out recently. Let me see if I can pull this thing up on the Facebook so I don't have to. I don't want to have to. By the way, if you ever want to follow me, get in touch with me, don't come to my house. But you can go to Cointree, COINTR.ee/Morgellons. Cointree, COINTR.ee/Morgellons. And all my links are right there. We can go to the Facebook, the Twitter. You can even subscribe to the YouTube channel if I love Twitter and Facebook. It's okay. It's a lot to be out of, though, in front of you, know what I mean? All right, so let's get into this crazy study. The challenge of bovine foot skin fibroblasts with digital dermatitis treponemes identifies distinct pathogenic mechanisms, okay? So what we've previously been able to determine is that a co-culture of fibroblasts and Borrelia bacteria results in an mRNA expression that produces an increased collagen expression, right? The junk proteins. And that's pretty much what's going on in AA amyloidosis, is that this enzyme is affecting the proteins so that they're expressing incorrectly. They're misfolding. And that's kind of what this mRNA is doing in the cells and the tissues that they are inhabiting. A pro-inflammatory response was elicited by the BDD treponemes mediated through IL-8 and IL-17, that's interleukin, y'all, signaling. I don't know what an interleukin is either. Unexpectedly, the 3BDD treponemes elicited distinct mechanisms of pathogenesis. Treponema vaginosus and Treponema pedis increased abundance of mRNA transcripts associated with apoptosis, while Treponema medium and Treponema pedis increased transcripts involved in actin rearrangement and loss of cell adhesion, likely promoting tissue invasion. Yeah, so what we're finding out is that these polytreponemal infections have varying effects and different mRNA expressions against the tissues that they are inhabiting. All right, finally, we got one new study. My website's down. Somebody hacked my website. Who hacked my website? I hope it wasn't anybody. I hope they were like some robot off in Russia or something, because I don't have any control on what happens when they start investigating who hacked my website. So please be careful and don't hack my website. I've got a package as a security deal, and they're going to find out if they can who hacked my website. And then that's out of my hands. So, all right. So we got this new study about doxycycline. It's a case study. Y'all can look it up, doxycycline and Morgellons. This was a patient who was previously being treated for mental health issues or conditions, mental health conditions. And the sores on her skin was a new symptom that showed up recently after she had spent an afternoon in the field of tall grass with her boyfriend. And apparently they were just watching a bunch of deer walk past. That's what the study says. Said the lady pulled a tick off of her. She didn't know what it was. Her doctor showed her a bunch of pictures. And then she's like, oh, it's the tick. And so they treated her with, they finally treated her with doxycycline after attempting to treat her with a bunch of topical agents, which if you know Morgellons, you know topical agents are not going to work. And her condition improved, they said resolved, after 2 weeks, 14 days of doxycycline therapy. So it's good that we have another case study. That's 2 case studies in a year. Earlier this year, we had a lady who was presenting with genital lesions, and they found evidence of Lyme disease in her. In this new case study, her Lyme disease test was negative, but her skin scrapings had multicolored filaments in them. And so that was important in diagnosing her condition. Y'all, if you have multicolored filaments embedded in your skin tissue, it's likely you have Lyme disease. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. Hope everybody's staying safe, and my website is going to come back up pretty soon. Don't hack my website, y'all. We'll see you soon. And leave a comment down in the discussion below. Take care. Hope everybody's having a safe holiday season.